Welcome back to World of Warships Legends. Another tech tree spotlight, another slightly above average ship review of the new Russian Tier 5 tech tree destroyer, Boevoi. I'm pretty certain I mispronounced that. Boevoi? Who knows? I'm not Russian. We are here on straight is a capture the base match. I actually have two games in this replay. So if you are really patient and want to watch 30 minutes of me yakking my jaws off, two totally different games in the Boevoi. All right, so we are starting off on this map, whatever it's called. This is post nerf, obviously, for destroyer concealment, because this destroyer was not in the game prior to that. We are using Anton Gurin as our commander, and as you can see, our concealment is only 5.6 kilometers. If you are familiar with the Ognevoi, the Boevoi, I guess, is a down-tiered Ognevoi with less torpedo range. There are probably some other minute differences. I didn't bother looking to see what they were. You can see we are top tier fives and fours. I think that's it straight as the name of the map. Um, So essentially, you've got two twin 130s, and you've got some 7 kilometer torpedoes. The Ognevoi has much better concealment by half a kilometer, 5.1 kilometer detection on the Ognevoi, and it has 3 kilometers more of torpedo range. So clearly, a much better ship than the Boevoi, which I think should have been the tier 4. Just based on the gameplay that I've had with this ship and the Sabrazatelny, which is a whole nother ball of wax we'll get into in my Sabrazatelny video. I am very underwhelmed by the Boevoi, although we have a couple of good games here. Um, I, I don't know. I don't know about this ship, guys. The Ognevoi, you got much better concealment, much longer torpedo range. This ship, you've only got two turrets, four total guns. Your torpedo range is only 7 kilometers, so essentially you're looking at a stealth torp window of 1.4 kilometers, just 1,400 meters. Not a lot. The ship doesn't strike me as especially fast. So, four gun barrels for a destroyer at tier 5, I wouldn't say that's a gunboat. It certainly has the concealment of a gunboat, and just 7 kilometer torpedoes. At the end of the second replay, I am going to go over the commander review and the ship builds. So if you're a patient person, you can wait around for that. That all looks no bueno up in there, and I have no idea what that other blue destroyer is doing aside from trying to get killed. Um, Speaking of the Sabrazatelny, the enemy Sabrazatelny gets killed, although he kills the cruiser back. Thankfully, that I think it's a Mutsuki retreated. I don't like this area at all. A battleship, a cruiser, two destroyers. I'm getting out of Dodge. There's one of the destroyers, a Mahan. I'm going to torp at him with no hope of hitting him. Full torp out. As you can see, I think it's a grand total of 6 torpedoes. And I am going to shoot at him a little bit. I will say in my games with the Boevoi, I have been pleased with the AP characteristics of both this and the Sabrazatelny. Maybe a little bit superior for range shooting as opposed to the existing tech tree ships, the Podvoisky, which I think is really a hidden gem, and the Ognevoi, which I think, in my opinion, is the hardest destroyer to play in the line. I have better games in the Minsk than I do in the Ognevoi. Now, this compared to the Ognevoi, I mean, just the torpedo range alone makes this a more usable ship for most players. The Ognevoi, I think, only has 4 kilometer torpedo range. They're probably more powerful torpedoes, but that ship is a handful to work with. I think it's harder to use that than it is the Minsk. All right, here's another enemy destroyer, a Gepard. Definitely don't want to be gunfighting the Gepard either. French gunboat. There's a Yahaji. I believe that is a tier 4 Japanese premium cruiser. We'll send a couple torps his way. We'll shoot his way. And I'm looking around at the map. I'm going to go into the cap, and I know this may not always be advisable. Um, I'm just trying to make the ships maneuver towards me so I can get them in favorable spotting range. You see, we did get a couple of torpedo strikes, although no flooding. I mean, maybe if the initial one flooded, he damage conned it. So we did hit the Ahaji with a couple of torpedoes, and we're going to spot him. He is very damaged. We're shooting HE. He takes a couple of those right on the kisser, and we're going to shoot a couple of more and missed. And now we're getting shot at by 3 other ships. Fantastic. And torpedoes. And we are going to kill the Haji and dodge those torpedoes. We're going to smoke up and go dark. All right. So, yeah, so the Boevoi doesn't give me a lot of confidence gun wise, unless you're shooting at range. It doesn't give me a lot of confidence with its ability to stealth torpedo because it's only 1,400 meters and it's very visible. And I don't think it's as fast as the Gnevis. So, again, I didn't look at numbers. That's just my impressions of it. I want to say I think a Gnevis gets close to 40 knots. Uh, as you can see with the speed boost, we are getting up there 37 and change. I'm having to maneuver to shoot at this Fubuki who came into view. Now, the Fubuki, yeah, this thing's clearly a superior gunboat to the Fubuki. Um, just short of 40 knots. Maybe we'll break that here in a minute, but I'm having to turn a little bit. Um, and we're still getting some good hits on the Fubuki. But at the end of the day, that extended torp range, that's what gets it done there. Devastating strike and kill number 2. All right, we're using this island to get some cover from the Gepard. Our concealment back down to 5.6. And pretty good turning ability. We do turn to avoid the dying torpedoes of the Fubuki. All right, we are going to go back into the cap, just kind of put some more pressure on again. I don't want to mess with the Gepard. He has 1 to 2 main battery reload boosters. I mean, I don't know if he's used them yet or not, but if he used them on me, I think this ship will get ripped apart pretty quickly. And the game is tied. We have a slight advantage in points. So I'm kind of sizing up this Tennessee, one of the 2 enemy battleships left remaining. And I'm using the end of my speed boost to try to get him in torpedo range. And we do, and so I am going to turn and torp 1 salvo, I think, at the Tennessee. And he already spotted me. Fantastic. All right, a simple torps. I'm turning away from him. I'm worried about getting caught in between the detectability of the Gepard and the detectability of the Tennessee. So again, I'm turning here away from the closest ship, which is the Tennessee. And then I decide, yeah, I might as well turn away from the Gepard too. So I'm kind of angling away from both of them. The Tennessee maneuvered pretty quickly. I don't. Was that the Fubuki's smoke screen? I guess if I had known that was there, I would have chilled out on that smoke screen. I either didn't see that he put one up or forgot about it. Good times. All right, so I'm looking at New Mexico here and the Tennessee. and I am going to try to kill both of them because why not? Kind of like a knight's fork. Not that I know a lot about chess or played chess in like 30 years, but I'm trying to put pressure on two pieces on the board at the same time. Now, the bad part about this, I think the Tennessee saw the New Mexico torpedoes, which lets the New Mexico know they are there. And real quick, take a look at the map. We've got a destroyer in the cap, and both our friendly ships are way on the other side of the map. So we're really kind of out there. We do get some torpedo hits, but as you can see, there's no flooding, nor do I desire to beach myself on the island. The friendly destroyer hits the Tennessee with a couple of torpedoes, although he gets killed by the Gepard. I'm spotted again by the Tennessee. So at that point, I send one rack towards him and I send another rack towards the New Mexico. And I am utilizing my smoke screen. Full brakes, let that smoke kick in. And we're just going to shoot at the New Mexico, try to set him on fire, make him burn his damage con. Success achieved. So I'm going to swap my aim to the Tennessee and I will shoot towards him. The New Mexico manages to take all those torpedoes. Yeah, and the Tennessee does too, ladies and gentlemen. You got it. High caliber and a double strike. Yes, sir. All right, so I consider this match a success. I would really love to get a Kraken for that hard mode achievement because I've gotten one, but I need another one to unlock the what is it, 50 extra points, 2 levels up on the campaign for the Piotr Bagration. So I'm like, hey, teammates, little help will be nice, Mr. Hiding on the other side of the map. Now, I'm not going to when I say that, I'm talking more about the guy behind me, which I think is maybe a Duke of York or something. The guy in the cap is going to encounter one of the two remaining enemy destroyers. So this guy, the Iron Duke, that's who it is. I'm the Iron Duke. You really need to produce in this match, guy. I need you to come up here and help me. And so he is going to do that. And as you can see, the other blue battleship is in the cap, and he is challenging the other enemy destroyer, which maybe a Mahan. I don't know anymore at this point. I really want this Iron Duke to get up here and help me because I am afeared that the Gepard will rip me apart. The Gepard is a pretty strong destroyer, in my opinion, for its tier. And I just would feel a lot more comfortable with a little more help up here. All right. I mean, we pretty much have a good lead. That battleship knocked out the enemy destroyer that was in our cap. And so all we have left to do is either A, let the time run out, B, kill the Gepard, C, capture their base. And the time's kind of running out on doing that. You can see I'm taking a meandering path towards the cap here. A, because I don't want to run into some torpedoes by accident, but B, because I'm waiting for the Iron Duke to kind of get on this side of the map. Hopefully he has HE loaded. And we're just going to try to light up the Gepard. Now, the Gepard may be able to outspot me based on what commander he has running. If he's got a Bueno and he's fully maxed, his concealment may be around 5.1. So he would have a half a kilometer advantage on us. If he's using Violette, then we've got about similar concealment. So I am hoping he's using Violette. If he's using D'Artige du Fournet with a double concealment inspiration, again, it would be about 5.6. So I don't know what he's using, but I have a feeling he's not using a double concealment inspiration because we did light him up. I do torp at him, and then unfortunately, he not only speeds up but also turns away. I think because I went into the cap circle. So that was my bad. Although I don't think I could have spotted him without going into the cap circle. And I should have moved towards him more aggressively. It looks like the Iron Duke is shooting armor piercing, which I'm very enthusiastic about. As you can see, the time is running out on this match. So, although I think it's one of the better matches I've had in the Boevoi, we are just not going to be able to whittle down this Gepard in order to get a Kraken. So that is the Boevoi up tiered and fairly dominant match with that double strike. Again, like I said, I was pretty happy about it. We end up with 84,235 total damage. The double strike medal, the devastating strike medal, and a high caliber, 9 torpedo strikes, 4 big kills, 6822 ship XP and commander XP, and over 250,000 silver. And I believe we're going to go to the team result because those green things down the bottom are just me getting the 600,000 damage of the weekly apps. There we are at the top of the board, 2274 base XP with those 4 big kills. Easily the best ship on our team. Iron Duke, what's up? All right, so that's that. Now we're going to go into our second match here on New Dawn in the Boevoi. As you can see, still using the same commander. I did experiment with using Vladimir Trubetskoy. The Boevoi has especially long turret traverse. If you do not use Trubetskoy, probably 26.1 seconds. So I definitely can understand why somebody would use Trubetskoy. However, I kind of took a look at the concealment with Trubetskoy, and it was significantly worse. So that's why I went with Gurren on this ship. Scratch that. I think I'm thinking about the other ship. No, maybe I'm not. I can't remember. We'll figure it out when we get to the screen where I look at the ship. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's the end of the day. I just mowed the lawn. I'm kind of out of it. All right. So we're on this map, whatever it's called, and we're heading towards Alpha. So this map is going to be New Dawn domination match. Great. There you can see 10.6 main battery range, 7 kilometer torpedo range. This is going to be a totally different match than the other match, which is why I am bringing you the double shot. Show you the 2 ways you can get it done in the Boevoi. In this one, we are going to use more of our concealment in order to have a beneficial outcome on the match. And I know you're thinking to yourself, you just have 4 kills and a double strike in the other game. Well, this match is a much better game in terms of the base XP. That's why I'm showing it. All right, there's a West Virginia. I don't think I looked at the roster to see if we're up tier or down tier. There's a Minakazi. All right, so again, we're top tier. Um, this ship has a very poor ability, in my opinion, to hit above its weight. So down tier matches with this ship aren't going to go well because as soon as you get spotted, you're going to just get utterly ripped apart. 5.6 concealment, not great. We are ripping into this Minakazi. You can throw up that smoke screen, but you are just not far away enough to hide. And I want to say, oh, my teammate finishes him off. Emile Berton for the kill pinch. All right, so we're going to use the smoke screen to launch our other torps at the Weeby, and we're going to go into our own smoke screen and light him on fire. And look at that. Our previous torp salvo just a little bit short. All right, so we're doing 2 things at once, which is always a great thing. We are trying to damage the Weeby, and we are capping the space. We do get 1 torpedo strike, no flooding. I will also note that is something I noticed with the ship. The Boevoi, you can get a lot of torpedo strikes, but very few torpedo strikes, at least for me, induced flooding in the games that I played with this ship, which was a little bit of a bummer. All right, he is turning, but he is not going to be able to turn enough. We do shoot down an airplane. We do get another torpedo strike with no flooding. And the Emil Berton kill pinch number 2. Great job, Emil Berton. I will say, I think the Boevoi has good AA. I think it does. We've only shot down one plane so far, but I want to say I think there's a fair amount of planes shot down in this match. I don't think our previous match had an aircraft carrier. So, as you can see, the other destroyer being harassed. So that's a good thing, the AA, because the OG Tech Tree Russian destroyers have pretty poor AA, if I'm recalling correctly. Yep, they're going after that guy pretty hard. I'm going to just turn away from those torpedoes. Those are going to miss anyway. Boom! Down goes Fraser. I will say, visuals like that, kudos Wargaming, that's pretty cool, you know. We are heading towards Bravo because Bravo is uncaptured. We shoot down our second airplane. We're going into Bravo. Or, sorry, we're leaving Alpha, headed towards Bravo. Thankfully, we dodged those torpedoes, although I'm not sure what they're being fired at. There is an enemy Gepard. Again, I really don't relish the idea of tangling with a Gepard. And those aircraft carrier airplanes aren't really coming next to us, but I feel the aircraft carrier is right over there, so I let my teammates know. And there was a look at the lineup of the enemy teams. I hope that was better late than never. We are going to shoot from way away at the Gepard. You know, I think these guns are pretty accurate at longer ranges, so I'm not disappointed, even though we didn't really get any hits there. On a bigger target, a lot more fruitful to shoot from this range. So I would say, like the Tech Tree destroyers, if you're going to gunboat these, do it at range, at kind of the end of your range. Might not work on a destroyer, will definitely work on a cruiser or a battleship or an aircraft carrier. Speaking of gunboating, here's a Fubuki. You know, honestly, these two games that I'm showing you were played like a week apart. The first match I just played on Sunday, and this match probably a week ago, and it seemed the same destroyers ended up on the enemy team. It's kind of bonkers. All right, we are lighting up the Fubuki, and we're just angled, so we didn't have two turrets on at that point. He is trying to hide. I want to say his attempts to torp are not going to be successful because we braked and turned. Wish that Nevada was in torpedo range. He's not. Instead, we're going to re-engage the Fubuki. You can see he's not doing a lot of damage to us. And although he is being shot at by other people, we are doing a fair amount of damage to him. He gets taken out by the Koenig. His torpedoes, again, easy to dodge in this ship due to a combo of speed and rudder shift. So that's good. We are going to continue trying to cap Bravo, also turning, maybe try to get some torpedoes out on the Nevada. And I want to say we just shot one because I'm not convinced he was coming in between those islands. I think he actually goes on the other side of them. Which he is. So that was kind of a waste. But I am going to continue to turn, and I will torp one more time. Right as he gets out of range. Fantastic. Well, maybe he'll turn back. I'm going to try to maneuver over here and keep this second battleship spotted. We do get our second solo cap of the game. and we are moving in the Koenig. Now the Emerald takes out the Nevada, and right here I realize the Koenig is quasi running away. So I'm going to turn to do two things at once. I'm going to head towards Charlie and see if I can get him within torp range. Out there still is the aircraft carrier. Out there still is the Capard, presumably, although I don't know that for certain. So we're just gonna head towards Charlie, and if I can torp the Koenig, that's a luxury. And I'm trying to get these guns lined up, which is not easy due to how slowly they turn. But if you're an experienced Russian DD commander, you should be aware of that. We are spotted by the Koenig. He did come back into range, but I had to do that to get the torpedoes out. I'm going to turn bow on here, or mostly bow on, reduce my profile, make myself a little bit harder to hit. And then I want to say, I don't even know if I'm going to get that second rack of torpedoes out on him. I think I'm just going to hide behind this island. We do take a little bit of damage there, but it looks like those shells weren't exactly tightly grouped. And I'm hoping to get these torps off around the corner of the island. There's the enemy destroyer. It actually is an Acasta, so I'm not really very worried about him. I am quasi interested in killing the Koenig. We are moving into Charlie, and I'm braking here and smoking up, hoping he would proceed pell-mell at full throttle towards me, and maybe he's going to do it. I don't know. He's proceeding very cautiously. It's hard for me to tell. So I do think I am going to torp at him here. One, two, buckle my shoe, and I think those are from an airplane. That's cuckoo. I think he is turning into the torpedoes, but it is too late, sir. Devastating strike for our very first kill. All right, and we're going to get the cap here. Boom. And now I could either go destroyer hunting. The aircraft carrier is very, very far away. I don't have any speed boosts left. There is the Acasta. He gets killed. There's really nothing left to do here in this match except for wait for the time to run out as my teammates kill the Ryujo. All right, so we fast forwarded to the end of the match. There's the victory screen. 63,420 damage and the devastating strike medal. 1 kill, 5 torpedo strikes, couple airplanes shot down, 3 solo captures. That's how we ended up with over 9,700 ship XP and commander XP, just over 215,000 silver. And there we are at the top of the board, 2603 base XP. That's how you have a good match in the Boevoi without having a bunch of kills. All right, so I want to say we are going to go into the port here. There's our commander, Anton Gurin, having at level 15, legendary level 2. There's a look at our consumable loadout. I think I'm going to do this and go back and forth and pretend that's it, but no, we're going to go actually look. Swirsky, post nerf, Bay, post nerf. I have had good luck with the AP at range due to that base trait. Quick fix, look at me now, perceptive. Smoke on the water, although I think I'm about changing that to sidestep due to the lack of concealment, and I probably will do that in the future. So just FYI, I would recommend sidestep. And then unstoppable. Uh, I think I'm going to actually go look at the ship, so I don't know why I keep talking about it. We're going to this loadout and pretending, and this thing and pretending, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you can see the upgrades. Let's go actually look at them. Main battery mod 2, propulsion mod 2, fully upgraded ship, although not maxed out. Sorry, war gambling. I'm not trying to get the Kiev. We've got 2 smokes, 2 engine boosts. You know, we are using that epic ship XP booster. 15, 5,000 hit points. Got those 2x2 130s, 10.6 range, 7.3 second reload, 16.1 second turn time. So it's the Sabrazatelny that has the especially long turret traverse. 1900 HE shell damage, 8% fire chance, 2600 AP shell damage. This is probably the same as the Ognevoi. Torpedo launchers, 2 triple tube launchers, reload in 1 minute. They do 15,100 damage, 7 kilometer range at 65 knots, and they do 15,100 damage. The Ognevoi, I think, 10 kilometer range, but they might be slower. AA defense, okay, so I confused that with Sabrazatelny too. That thing, the Boevoi has horrible AA. Maneuverability, rudder shift, I thought it was a little bit better than that. Max speed, 37 knots. It's not especially fast. It's not especially maneuverable. It's definitely not concealable. 5 point, um, I don't know why I went back to that. Other than to say I really recommend that skill choice. So as you can see, it's 5.2 second rudder shift when you put that on. Um, so in order to offset that, I think I'm going to go back here and I'm going to take off the propulsion mod and I'm going to put on the steering gears mod. And that's how I recommend running this ship. That's how I ran it in the first game. As you can see, rudder shift back to 4.3 seconds. So that's how I would configure that. 5.6 kilometer detectability on surface, 3.4 from the air, 2.7 when firing in smoke. Hope you enjoyed this double shot of the Boevoi. You know, whether this ship exists or not, Lord only knows. Um, I just think it's average. The end. Thanks for watching.